Hey, everybody. Welcome back by popular, just outrageous, insane demand. The second episode of the triple option presented by the illustrious, the venerable, the reputable TomahawkNation.com website, the place where I go and everybody else should go if they care about themselves for all your football related info. Once again, the triple option. If you missed episode 1, I'm disappointed in you, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Myself, one boisterous idiot. 2 big bad football dorks down to my bottom and my left. We've got Coach AB, Adam Brown, the X's and O's, my guy, the trench goud, the trench monster. Coach Adam Brown, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? How we doing tonight?
Oh, they're doing great. I know they're doing great. And my guy to my left over here, this guy, Kevin Little, X's and Knowles, loves the air raid, and he's my video vice lord. Kevin.
That's me.
Say what's up to the people. That's right. It's you.
How's it going, people?
I think they're doing better than I thought they were going to be before this Notre Dame game. Florida State comes off a loss, which still feels like a loss. We're not in full loser blood like Rice, like UT San Antonio area. Like a loss is still a loss.
UTSA had a pretty close game against a good BYU game, BYU team. Yeah.
Oh, well, good. Go Roadrunners.
One might throw Mississippi State in there after their 2-point performance.
They're getting used to the system.
You're not going to twist that leech knife. Kevin and I are air raid guys through and through. But Notre Dame beats Florida State at home 42-26 in a game that was almost a one-score game within the fourth quarter. So if you look at the last time that Florida State went up to South Bend to get thumped by the Irish people, it was 42-13 in 2018. So a game that was only 13 points different, but felt orders of magnitude different. So I'm going to ask you guys for your thoughts on the initial game before we just hop right into the X's and O's. But personally, I was encouraged by the offense. They built on the offensive identity that they got in that Jacksonville State game. And I was also encouraged by the adaptations that Mike Norvell did, the specific counters to the way that Notre Dame's defense played against them. And that some of that stuff showed up in the second half. Defensively, it's a PG show. Rough at the beginning, could run whenever they wanted, could get whatever they wanted. They took advantage of the Florida State's linebackers and their defensive line, honestly, in whole the entire night. And we'll discuss how they did it. Very rough. However, the defense did improve as the game went on, and I think only allowed 7 points in the second half. Am I wrong or am I stupid?
You are correct.
You're right.
So I'm neither. I'm right. So, Adam, I'm going to go to you first, then go to Kevin. Just give me overall thoughts, and we'll get into the X's and the Knowles.
Yeah, I mean, I've rewatched the game now once and like 1.5 times. And, last night I'm sitting and we're all chatting through the Slack, and I felt very optimistic. I know the defense was atrocious, and but I think you bring up a good point about they only gave up 7 points in the second half, so they clearly were able to go in at halftime and make some adjustments and find some things that they could do to at least keep Notre Dame out of the end zone. On the whole, though, I mean, I think you've got to feel like there's a path now, like. The offense found an identity, but now it almost feels like the team has found an identity, so to speak. Again, I know the defense sucks, but I do feel like you see
it does.
Yeah, it's a PG show. You do see the potential for some hope there if you can get some better players in, because we're finding guys being in position to make plays if you're just not finishing them. But again, I think it just all goes back to the offense, and you're finding hope through the offense.
It's a piece of clay right now, and we need Demi Moore and our ghost Patrick Swayze to get together, and we're forming it right now. Maybe a Whoopi Goldberg psychic, but we're forming it. It's not a finished product yet. It's not going to be by the end of this year, but very good points, Adam. Kevin, what did you think about the game? Similar or different?
Yeah, I think Adam said a lot of the stuff I wanted to say.
He would.
But I think Jordan Travis played a heck of a game. He put his heart out there. You see the defense, they didn't play well. I think there are a few places where you can see like some progress, maybe. I think on the weak side, Emmett Rice and Gant at least looked like they wanted to play for some part of the second half. And so I think there's definitely stuff to build on here. I'm excited where the future is for this offense, and I'm cautious about the defense, I would say.
All right, before we get into the film, the defense got better in the second half, and that came with a combination of scheme adjustments or game plan adjustments and also a combination of personnel adjustments. In your opinion, just real quick, because I'm sure we'll go through it, was the defense better between guys like Brendan Gant replaced guy or took more time away from guys like Jaden Lars would be? So was it personnel or was it more scheme or was it a mix of both?
Yeah, I go ahead, Kev.
For me, it was a lot of personnel adjustments. Jaden Lars does not want to hit a soul out there, and seeing Gant, he missed some tackles, he missed some plays, but at least he was missing them aggressively.
Quickly. That's right. He's a berserker. I like berserker guys. And Jaden Lars would be great guy, cool hyphenated last name. This year's been a little rough. Adam, do you agree? Personnel or scheme?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a lot of just to do with personnel. I just think that they found themselves. Fuller just said, you know what, we're going to commit to. We can't read as linebackers, so we're going to commit to putting you in your run fits by blitzing guys. I mean, he played a lot of man and just brought the house on a lot of plays and specific downs. So I think it's personnel, but I think it was also just a commitment by Fuller to say, you know what, screw this. We're gonna quit trying to read. We're gonna simplify this thing, and I'm just gonna put you in your fit by blitzing you.
And there were so many times you guys will see with the linebackers where guys were just guessing and they were always guessing wrong, that I could honestly understand. If you're getting gashed all night, hey man, we'll take the occasional tackle for loss to give up the explosives just so I know you're going to be where I need you to be, because it's happening anyway. So without further ado, great thoughts as always, gentlemen. Let's get to the meat.
What the people came for.
Yeah, let's give the people what they want. All right, let's see what we got here. Adam, describe the formation.
Yeah, they're in. Let's see. I couldn't tell. Is Trimble in there? Yeah, Trimble's in there. So they got the tight end wing up top with a. It's a tight end, but he's like an H-back for him, and a receiver down here. There's your. Actually, I'm sorry. That's double tight.
Yep.
Tight end up top.
A million tight ends on the field every time.
Yeah, dude, I mean,
there's some massive humanity.
The problem is all their freaking receivers look like tight ends too. They were humongous. Like, I can't even get over how big this team was. But anyway, so yeah, tight end wing and a little slot, and they bring a little jet motion. So the jet motion, I mean, they played a lot of games with motion throughout the night to just try to draw attention and get these linebackers in the secondary moving around and get angles. So they're going to run. They're going to run a little counter action here. Counter tray. You heard Tony Dungy talk about it 1,800 times last night.
Yes, very enamored with that play. Now, Kevin, what exactly describe counter tray for the idiots like myself? What is it, and why did it work so well against Florida State?
So the basics of it is that you have a guard and a tight end pulling across the formation. One's kicking out the end man on the line of scrimmage, and the other one's coming through and cleaning up whoever's there. And just the basic premise of it is we're going to get two big dudes where you have nobody.
Theoretically, maybe there should be one person there in a well-oriented defense, but yes, we had nobody. So let's see the end result of this.
Well, the biggest thing about counter tray is it just gives you a numbers advantage back that side after you're getting guys out of the way.
Now, Adam, did we overrun this play? Was this just perfect execution, or how did Florida State uniquely mess up the defense of this play? Because my guy right there, was that 46? I don't know. He is way upfield.
So, I mean, he's on a pressure. So, I mean, his landmark's going to be a yard outside the near back.
Okay.
Should have been the running back here. So, I mean, he's kind of on target, but he's got to see these pullers coming. And he's got to take these dudes on. I mean, he's got to squeeze that anyway and try to make that hole a little bit smaller for him. But he's a freshman. He's a true freshman that's, not played a ton of linebacker in his career. So he's a kid that's still learning. At least he's coming in there 100 mile an hour. But, I mean, look at your end. And the left tackle for Notre Dame's an All-American, and he's probably one of the best left tackles in college football and going to be a big-time draft pick. But he just gets blown out of there. I mean, you can't get ragdolled like that and make this hole the size that it is. And then Steven Dix Jr., who's in middle linebacker, who, has got a bright future ahead of him, but he's just banging his head on guards and stuff. Like, you have to take better angles. We can't be so far up into the line of scrimmage trying to make these plays. You got to take better angles to the football.
I think my big
Kevin-
thing about the guy
go
pulling
ahead.
is you see it consistently in Fuller's defense, and a lot of people that haven't played past, I don't know, Pee Wee football will get mad at our guys for attacking the inside shoulder. So to give you an idea of what that means, so here, when he sees this pullers, usually in Fuller's defense, they're taught to wrong arm or spill. So they're supposed to attack the inside shoulder, and that makes this back bounce it outside, and it gives the linebackers time to recover and make that play on the outside. By him just storming in here and not seeing these pullers, it makes life harder on the linebackers who already aren't very good at diagnosing these plays.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to spill on a blitz because they're not going to. That's not something I've seen a whole lot of where you're going to adapt on a blitz and spill. But still, the problem is he doesn't. As that tackle goes down and he sees all this action kind of coming at him, he's got to squeeze it. He's got to take that thing on with his inside shoulder and try to narrow that hole there. But it doesn't even matter because look at Dix. I mean, he's banging McClendon. Like, what are you doing? The biggest thing is we're mirroring these steps by the backs. So the back's going to take a step to the right. He's going to take a jab step to the right for his counter action to time up. And It just gets Dix. That's just drawing Dix so far up that he's out of position to be able to scrape and flow to the ball. You watch him as the play goes here. If you can visualize the back taking that step, Dix's first 3 steps are forward, which are great. You want him coming downhill, but he's got to be anticipating where this ball is going. He's got to be seeing everything else going on in front of him. He's got to see guards that are crossing his face. He's got to see tackles blocking down, the guard in front of him to his right blocking down. And no, okay, I'm getting a down block. I've got to get here right away. I've got to get to this landmark and not just come up here and run into the back of Derek McClendon.
So you've got a perfect combination of linebacker indecision from Dix. You've got a little bit of hyper aggression from the other guy and not playing with that kind of correct wrong arming technique that just had the size, like literally bigger than my forehead, and I have a noggin. So just, I guess it's the perfect storm in a play that Notre Dame continued to run over and over and over again to just pretty insane levels of success. All right, let's move on to the next one.
The next one, coincidentally, is the same play.
Yeah, why wouldn't they run? Tony Dungy said that should have been the only play they ran. All right, do we get beat in the same way again, Adam, or is it a different way that we beat ourselves?
No, this time we're looping outside. You see, I believe it's Big Marv stunting outside. No, it's Durden. I'm sorry, it's Durden out there. So he jumps outside. Yeah. So he jumps outside here. They're able to kick him with a guard. Everybody else it's just down blocks inside at that point. Once he loops outside and gets himself kicked, you've got a left tackle, a left guard, and a fullback who are going to come down inside and just create a wall. This is just amazing play design. This is great scouting on Notre Dame's part and incredible play design.
So AB, why was he jumping outside like that? I don't know if I've ever seen it without a stunt back towards the middle, which you're not seeing from the end.
No, yeah, I don't know what Griffiths is doing. Griffiths may have had that fold technique that they do, where he's supposed to step back and then come underneath or come inside. Griffiths may be wrong here. Yeah, he should take a step back and come back into B gap but
instead you see him kind of
getting himself
flowed out here,
driven to the sideline. They did a lot of stuff with arc releasing by the tight ends that kind of screwed with our ends a little bit. Kind of got us widening, and where they were able to run up underneath of it. See there, you see how the tight end arc releases, and Griffiths is chasing it.
Right, he mirrors him.
I think he's wrong there. I think he's got to be coming back underneath there based on what Durden is doing.
So to translate, arc release is this tight end kind of coming out here like this. It steals the eyes away from this defensive end, and he kind of gets drawn that way.
Yeah, it's just wise.
Do you think because obviously Notre Dame's unit over 111 combined starts, they said the stat 1,000 times last night. Do you think Durden was just trying to shed contact and just trying to make a guess to get himself free and get some space to create some havoc, or kind of like going into business for himself? Or do you think the scheme called for him to do that kind of action?
Yeah, if you look at the other tackle, I mean, he looks to be stepping that way too.
Okay.
So they've obviously got something there they're working in there. We don't have the call sheet, so it's hard for us to say
Right.
110%. There could have been a blitzer that was supposed to be coming and didn't come. You know, there's different things that they may have been trying to do. You see Gainer up in the box there. There's some different things they could have been doing that could have had that action working. But again, I mean, they've just got you outnumbered big time at this point.
But you can even look at the linebackers in this play. Look at this guy here.
Yeah,
I
Lundy.
don't even know who it is.
It's Lundy.
Is it Lundy?
Yeah.
He's just hesitating for like 20 minutes before he decides to come downfield.
So he should. So here's the thing: like he should be seeing down block by the guard, the guard that's right in front of him, and as soon as he sees that down block, he's got to know something's coming at me, and he's got to be up.
Yep,
Now-
he needs to be hitting that guy in the hole, not 5 yards downfield.
Right, but he's taking steps backwards, and it's just bad. I mean, it's really bad football.
Adam, so obviously we've seen multiple. That looks like a hold on Asante Samuel too. We've seen obviously indecision from the backers, over aggression. My question is, we know that the linebackers are bad. Are the linebackers being made to look worse by a defensive line that is not, they're definitely not getting tackles for loss, but if you look, they're not even really creating stalemates at the line of scrimmage. So you've got a bad unit. Is it being made to look worse because they're also getting no protection from their defensive line, especially when the twos are in?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. 110%. I mean, that's spot on. You know, when you're playing on your side of the line of scrimmage as a defense, it's just bad. It's just bad situations.
Look at that.
Yeah, Cooper's 3 yards. He's 2 yards downfield.
Yep. I mean, he gets double teamed, but still.
I mean, that's not good enough. And I know that's probably the best offensive line in America, or one of the top 3 offensive lines in America.
Yep, I'd put it up there.
But it's not good enough. I mean, you went up there. You're in a 21-17 ball game for umpteen years. You've been complaining about the offense being the big issue. I mean, come on.
And the thing is too, like Robert Cooper, I'm not expecting these guys aren't Aaron Donald. I'm not expecting them to just brutally fight off double teams and split them all the time. But I am expecting a space eater like Robert Cooper, the trench monster. If I'm going to get doubled, I'm going to hold my ground. I'm going to grab the 2 guys, and I'm just going to try to just like create a stalemate, right? Sometimes you're even taught to like kind of just go to the ground to create like a pile, right. Any sort of way to like split it. But we're losing 1-on-1s. We're losing 2-on-1s. There's just no.
Now,
look how easy it is to block. Is this Dix here at middle linebacker?
Yeah.
Right.
He comes in, but he doesn't. You need to blow this play up, and instead this guard kind of just peels off, and it's an easy block.
So my question is, where's Jaden Lars-Woodby at? Where is there a safety coming down?
Let's take a look at that. That's good because I've been.
I mean,
to be fair, he is rolling to the field side.
And that's fine. Then why isn't Renardo Green getting down into the box? I mean, this is 110% run action. Okay.
Yep.
Getting out of fluster. It's like you said. It's a ripple effect, right? It's a butterfly effect of defensive line not good, makes bad linebackers worse. 2 bad units not getting any help from a contact-averse secondary, and it was bleak. Once again, this is first half. This is counteraction. This is all the bad of Florida State's defense. It does improve, guys. I swear, it's gonna get more positive. So let's move on to the next one before I throw up all over my cool microphone. All right, Kevin, what do we got here?
All right, so we have just an outside zone play by the offense. So basically all these linemen are racing to the outside, and you see Josh Kando, who's supposed to be setting an edge. So fight to the outside, force him inside to your help. Well, instead of actually fighting anything, he just kind of sprints to the sideline, and he just leaves this massive hole here.
Oh, that's not good. I don't think that's proper technique.
I'm not sure we're lined up right either here, but
which guy is misaligned?
Inside, it looks like they got double ones, which is not something I've seen out of them.
Hey,
not that it would have made a difference on the play, but it's still I think we may be misaligned too.
You mean we're not innovating with double one techniques? So that just means these guys are inside this helmet here.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally, one guy's inside, and on the other side, the guy would be outside.
Durden,
We would call that a
Durden,
1 technique and a 3 technique, but it looks like we have
yeah,
2 ones.
Durden. I mean, Durden should have been a 3 there, but
Yeah,
I don't know,
probably.
All right,
based on what we know.
let's watch this again because there's a lot of fun stuff going on the defensive line.
3 tight ends. 3 tight ends out of. I mean, Notre Dame is just, man. They have formation like crazy with those tight ends.
What's going on with the defensive tackles here, Adam? Specifically, Robert Cooper. I want to see because he's way downfield. Once again, our space eater guys are not eating space, and our pass disruption guys are not shooting gaps and creating havoc in the passing or running game.
Yeah, I mean, this is not Coop's strength here, trying to play outside zone, but I mean, he should be able to run with this kid and run laterally down the line of scrimmage. Let it run, Kev.
Yep.
I can watch it there. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That's amazing football. That's offensive line play, like textbook. Like, if you're an offensive line coach, you've got the biggest chub right now because that's incredible to watch. I mean, Coop just gets. I mean, he's got to play more lateral down the line of scrimmage here, and he just gets overtaken. I mean, it's a perfect double team by the left guard working with the center, and the center just bucket steps and overtakes. It's just beautiful. I mean,
yeah, great communication. That is a unit, like you said, one of the best in the country, and they played like it. Now, once again, but the inability to set an edge.
Yeah.
The defensive line plays, it's like you said, Josh Kando is just like going over to the sideline to get some Powerade. But what are our linebackers doing on this? Because are they getting washed up in the middle? Trey. Yeah, Kevin, you go ahead and you talk about it.
I love talking about our linebackers because I think it's basically like we're playing with 9 people on the field. Look,
dear God.
I think this is 32, Steven Dix.
It's Dix, yeah, it's Dix.
Watch him. He gets blocked. I think you could put, I don't know, a high schooler out there, and they wouldn't get blocked as easily. He just kind of like watch him mosey on up the field.
Well, he was a high schooler.
And he just kind of like, I don't know what he's doing. He kind of plays patty cake with the guard here.
Yeah, I mean, he presses the line of scrimmage, which I guess he's being taught that. I mean, you want to press the line of scrimmage, like
that's good.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make it seem like he's wrong. He should be pressing the line of scrimmage, but you know what I mean. That all comes back to how easily Robert Cooper gets doubled here. I mean, he's got to put up more of a fight that guard can't get off on that backer that quickly.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong because I'm going to use layman terms, but I feel like our linebackers should be more elusive. They're like contact sponges. They're contact magnets. If I can get blocked, I will get blocked by even the most minute amount of contact. Should there be more elusivity from the linebackers to shed blocks and get free instead of just willingly taking themselves out of the play?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that's probably true freshmen. They're just not strong enough. But like we were just talking about Dixon, he takes a false step on this play too. I mean, he's 2 steps forward before he ever starts flowing with the ball. I mean, if he's reading that back is all right. So put yourself in the linebacker's shoes. What are you seeing? You're seeing a right guard taking a hard step to the right, or your left guard taking a hard step to the right, the guard in front of you, and you got a back that's sprinting to the sideline. Why are you taking 2 steps forward? Where are you going? The ball's not going there. Where are you going?
There's no, like you said before, Notre Dame did some fun stuff with the formations and the jet motions to mess with the linebacker. This is about as vanilla. I'm going to run at you. This is how I'm going to run at you, and we don't think you can stop it as it gets. There's no trickery here.
He should be on a dead sprint to that tackle's butt. And if he takes a better angle, he should be able to take his left hand and shiver that guard coming at him and be in position to make a play on the ball, or at least get himself where he's inside out on the ball and can make a play or make a cut back. I mean, he's just his first two steps are horrible and make him wrong all the time.
And the thing
Kevin, you got anything before we move on?
The thing is, outside zone is you use it to kind of get these linebackers moving side to side, and it's because you got to challenge them to go sideline to sideline.
They actually run into each other. If you regard these, I think they get blocked into each other. Yeah, bam, right there. There you go.
But where's Gainer going to? Like, this is a kid that we're talking about All right, let's move on. I can't even freaking do it.
He gets
No,
down
no,
blocked
he
by a
goes
wide
right
receiver.
into a block too.
Yeah. Why are you not coming forward? What are you doing?
Guys, a lot of it's personnel. That's the youth movement at linebacker that everybody wants. Those are 3 younger, more athletically impressive guys, and these are the kind of lumps that we're taking. All right, second half, a much better defensive half. Adam, why? What happens on this play?
I just think they were more aggressive. I mean, you watch Emmett Rice here, and we're talking about, guys coming and attacking the football. Watch him where he hits this pulling guard. I mean, first off, we're playing on their side of the line of scrimmage. You got the end up top, the tackle, another tackle, all playing on their side of the line of scrimmage. And then Rice comes and meets this pulling guard a yard deep in the backfield. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. It ends up being an 8-yard game, but still is better than 42.
Yeah, this is what linebackers should look like, right? If you're going to come up and get blocked, at least, stuff some stuff up when you get blocked,
Well, because you know what happens when you're able to do this, you make that back. Watch that back's got to start cutting back there, and it allows other things on the defense and other guys on the defense to get off blocks and get out of their transitions and come down and get into the box and try to make a play. You see Gant come flying up hard, and he has to get picked off by the receiver coming down inside, and Asante is able to get off and come out and make this tackle. Makes a nice open field tackle.
I
When
still
you're
think
aggressive, good.
I still think Robinson here is supposed to wrong arm this defender. You see it when they do it correctly, but he just that would help out Rice here. It would make this gap even smaller. That's
well,
my thing.
if Robinson spills this, then Rice is fit right there for the back bouncing out to him. Which maybe it's hard to tell. I don't know if that's what they're doing here or not. I mean, either way they fit it well, and you see an 8-yard gain. I mean, that's a win. I know on first down, 1st and 10, you want to not, but listen, against that offensive line, you'll live with that.
That was a 40-yard play at least like 7 times in the first half.
Right?
So,
I mean, seriously, though.
this is a win. It's gross, but this is 2020 Florida State defense. An 8-yard gain on first down. This is actually a win, comparatively speaking.
This is the play I want to point to when people want to be on the fire Fuller yesterday train.
Yeah.
This might be a Fuller problem. This might be something that we need to reevaluate the defensive coordinator down the road, but this is a problem that is a personnel problem. And if you don't see it change over the next couple years, then you make the change to defensive coordinator. But he's putting the kids in a good position, but you gotta see plays being made like this.
Quick question for both of you as an aside, since we diagnosed this highly, highly successful 8-yard run on first down. What do we think? The fan base hates Adam Fuller, and it's not just because he's a sassy guy from Massachusetts. It's just a sasshole. What do you guys think of his? Have you been disappointed by the scheme? What do you guys think of the job that Adam Fuller's done so far? And maybe even some of the assistants. We talk about the linebackers a lot, but I really don't hear any mention of new linebackers coach Chris Marv or any criticism. Just quick before we move on to the next one, thoughts on the scheme so far and the performance of the assistants and the coordinator.
Go ahead, Kev. You go first.
Look, there's only so much you can do when your linebackers, like I was saying earlier, he's playing with 9 guys on the field.
Yeah.
The Will linebacker and the Mike linebacker at any one point in time probably aren't doing what they need to be doing. And it's not that they've been told to do the wrong thing. It's that, when you've got to start a freshman linebacker because your seniors have been wrecked with 3 years of bad coaching, you have to expect that those kids are going to play slow and going to be a step behind. And when you have seniors that have been wrecked by poor coaching for the past few years.
Kev, before we get to Adam, at what game do we start to look at a Chris Marv and an Adam Fuller? Like if they're still not in the right position by the back end of the schedule, do we start to become more critical of the coaches?
I would say here they're in the right position. I don't know what else you can do as a defensive coordinator. Right. If they're still not making these plays and still not holding this play to 2 yards instead of 8 yards by the start of next season, you can start to make some questions. But as of now, there's no defensive coordinator in the country that's doing well. Look at the scores last week. It was like 50-40, 40-60, Alabama
That is
gave
true.
up 40
Even
points.
Nick Saban, yeah. There's like 2 good defensive teams in the country, and I think it's like Clemson and Georgia, and not many else. So that's a good point, Kevin. I like that. Adam, what do you think? Quickly before we move on.
Well, first off, I mean, I think if you're still in the same boat at by game 9, 10, or whatever post Clemson, I mean, I think you got to start evaluating some things. I've got my sights on Chris Marv already. I mean, I would like to be seeing where I think the dude's a great coach, and I think he's got a lot of skill, and I know he's fixing a lot of problems. But I want to see more consistency just in general, because I do think he's got a couple kids that can play there. Like you see Emmett Rice here, like he can do it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I'm on board the Adam Fuller train. I think Adam Fuller is a really good defense coordinator, and I think we just need pieces. Like at some point when you're playing 4 yards downfield, like it is what it is. You're going to get your ass kicked.
All right. Fun sidebar. Let's move on. Just had to see the fan base, man. Not a fan. Not a fan right now.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, you're just coming to grips with just
the suckage
awful.
That is Florida State football.
Yeah, a lot of suckage.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about this suckage, Kevin.
Yeah, just real quick. So we've been getting all over the defense for their zone. So it looks like they're in some form of cover 2, which means that these safeties are in deep halves, and that leaves like a natural gap here in the middle of the field. This linebacker is kind of caught. This wide receiver comes on a drag route, so he's kind of caught between getting this drag route and getting this post that's going to come behind him. And I they get this completion, but I think they do a really good job. Well, not a really good job. I think they do a better job. I think this is a sign that things are getting better despite this completion. Book makes a good throw here over his head between 3 defenders, and it's just a well-called play against this coverage, and yet I still think we did a decent job of closing that gap.
A completion against the zone that is a result of good play by the offense rather than a disgusting Swiss cheese zone job. Like a fairly well-played job. Would you agree with that, Adam? It's just, hey, you got to tip your cap to the offense sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a 5-step drop, takes 2 hitch steps, and nobody's within 10 yards of him, like to touch him. Like at some point,
yeah,
I mean, dang, the offense is going to get dudes open when that's your pass rush, and you can't even impact him. You can't get the quarterback off the spot at all. I think Juan shared this earlier. We had 2 hurries on the night, or 2 hits on the quarterback all night. Like, goodness gracious.
And we're stuck in there.
It's hard to play zone coverage when you. Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, what do you think of the use of stunts? I mean, should we go more vanilla along the D line? These stunts just so slow to develop the defensive tackles on the stunt action, right?
I mean, look, we don't blitz enough. We blitz too much. We have to do something. We can't just go out there and just stay. Right. I mean, I guess we could probably be the same freaking result, but you have to do something. And it's at some point this isn't about this year too. Like
right.
You're developing a defense for next year and the end of this year and in years to come. Like you're trying to get the thought process down and the terminology down and all those things down now so that you can be better in years to come.
Right. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the defensive line has to be the biggest disappointment.
I think to some extent.
I think we didn't expect much out of the linebackers. We didn't expect them to be this bad, but come on, you got to help us out. Like Robinson just gets blocked so easily. I mean, if you're going to stand back there, at least put your hands up, right? He kind of does this little stunt inside, but then he gets blocked, and then he doesn't even put his hands up.
And we've got that's another thing too. It's just very. I guess it's disheartening because we haven't gotten to the quarterback, but we do have an athletic presence on the edge, even though they're not playing, honestly, as good as they look. We don't even get our hands up to like bat the ball or just there's no disruption of the passing lanes whatsoever. I don't know if that's something that maybe we switch to because it's clean pockets and it's empty lanes and it's sorry linebackers and defensive backs, just go play out of your minds because the quarterback's got the time to pick you apart.
Yep.
How envious are we?
Yeah, it's pretty sexy. That's a pretty set, like you said, Adam, talking about chubs and stuff, trying to take this to PG-13 level. But yeah, they're good, dude.
It's
All right.
full,
I think,
full on, baby,
like you said,
full on,
however,
because
we turned some 40-yard runs into 8-yard runs, and we made them actually have to complete difficult passes against our zone, which led to 7 points given up in the second half and a pretty solid defensive stand at the end of the game that Mike Norvell was obviously using as a teaching moment with like the timeouts and as a way to like foundationally build culture. We're going to move on to more positive. We're going to take it in a more positive direction because I think we're talking about offense next, right?
We are. Let's talk about offense.
Okay, let's talk about 26 points, which is about 17 more than I thought they were going to score.
yeah, I mean, really.
What happens here, Kev?
All right, let me set the scene because this play I'm only really showing to show the next play. I think the offense did a pretty decent job against a pretty darn stout Notre Dame defense. But we're actually running a counter of our own. I believe it's a GT counter, so that just means guard tackle counter. So you have the guard pulling and also the tackle. So these guys are pulling. And basically, Jordan Travis is reading this defensive end. And this defensive end is going to shoot up field and try to attack that mesh point. And so that's an automatic give. So all night, basically, all Notre Dame was doing was saying, hey, Jordan Travis, we don't want you to have the ball in your hand. Anytime there's a read, we're going to make you give the ball, and we know that you're not going to be able to block us. And if you want to know how you do defend counterplay, this is what it looks like.
Show me what it looks like.
Good run blitz.
Yep.
Yeah, well defended, something they will adapt to later on in the game teaser. We're going to talk about that later. But, Adam, how do they defend this?
Yeah, I mean, first off, they just kick your butt up front. The run blitz throws the play all off. He times this thing up beautifully. Like,
oh, wow, look at him fire off. Yeah, the middle just right there. Reads the pulling lineman.
Yeah, so Kev, they're pulling the center and the tackle here.
Are
so
they?
As soon as that center, yeah, when that center pulls, I mean, he just threw that A gap and it blows up 58. I mean, look at him. I mean, he just creates a file back there. That's how you defend it. You blow crap up.
Yep, you see the pullers and you go.
Crap.
Well, we talked about it with Emmett Riso, right? I mean, we talked about it with Florida State defense. He hits it on their side of the line of scrimmage. It's not a huge play. Here we see Notre Dame hitting it on Florida State's side of the line of scrimmage, and it's a loss.
A tough loss, though, man. Damian Webb ran good. That kid has been a fun. Sign me up for Mississippi, like JUCO kids. Great. I really thought he had an awesome performance.
He did. He played well.
All right. Now, Kevin, we set the stage. We had the amuse-bouche. Now get to the main course. How did we adjust to this very, very solid defensive game plan from the Fighting Brian Kellys?
So I love this play because it's very
fun.
unique. This play, I've only seen a couple teams ever run it out of the spread. It is a staple of like your flex bone triple option offenses. So normally in a zone read or any sort of power read, you're reading the defensive end here, but this play they're reading the defensive tackle. So it's kind of a wrinkle. This play's called midline, and he's reading the defensive tackle. If the defensive tackle stays inside, he's going to keep it himself. If he goes outside, he's going to give it. And basically the only reason they did this is this defensive end is going to be really easy to block because he's expecting there to be a read on him. Right. So now we're changing the read man. We're giving Jordan Travis the possible opportunity to keep the ball. This play he doesn't, but down the road, it's just a way to kind of mix up your reads, make it a little bit more complicated on the defense.
Is this a play that we ran in Jacksonville State, or was this an in-game adjustment that Mike Norvell just drew up for this?
Yeah, I didn't see it at Jacksonville State.
Neither did I. Yeah. So it was, man, once again, good run, nice adjustment. Adam, is it a more dangerous read to let an interior guy go unblocked rather than the defensive end as far as like the opportunity for them to create havoc, or is there no difference in terms of risk?
No, I mean, I wouldn't call it more dangerous. I think that they have their pros and cons here. The biggest thing that they're trying to do is just get a hat on the front side of this play so they get the running back going. So when you are able to block that backside end, and then when you read that down tackle, now you don't have to account for him at all. So now you can account with it on everybody front side with your guard all the way over here, which is nice. And you see it here. You see how Bavion Johnson is up on the linebacker, and they're just able to watch everything and cut it back.
Absolutely right. I do want to say that. Yeah, highlight the right guard here. Bavion Johnson looking great in space, getting a guy at the second level, something we really haven't seen Florida State do a lot these past couple of years, and it makes all the difference on us achieving an explosive run on 2nd and 10, a tough down traditionally for our offense.
So you get that out. Down. So what happens is with midline, you get that outside zone flow. So what that's going to do is we talked about with Florida State's backers, they're 2 steps up into the line of scrimmage and not playing sideline to sideline. We'll look at Notre Dame's backers. They're right away rocking to see how they move. They're moving laterally.
Flow to the right.
They're moving laterally with the play. So what happens is with that outside zone action is it gives us better angles to get up to the second level and get these blocks on the backers because we couldn't block them on inside zone. You see Webb, they're overrunning the football to play outside zone, and then it gives Bavion a good angle to get a block, and you see Webb able to cut it back off of that.
I will say that if you get the time to rewatch these games like I do, working with you two esteemed gentlemen, watching the offensive line play, they do some fun kind of exotic stuff, man. Like this is great. We could barely get our guys to learn how to double team last year, and these are largely the same players, and there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a ton in like our Memphis review, like looking at what the scheme was going to be coming in, and it really is like Norvell does a ton of. I mean, the dude's he's a freaking genius when it comes to offense. Like he's just so smart. He's so innovative, and none of these ideas are his per se, but like he's just pulling from such a wealth of knowledge from so many different people he's surrounded himself by offensively, and he's got guys that are coaching with him that have been around some great coordinators also, or some great offensive minds. So they've got a wealth of knowledge on that side of the ball, and they're really bringing it out, trying to get this offense going.
All right, Kevin. Well, you're our offensive genius, so just go to the next play, video offensive genius.
That should excite people, though. That play should excite people.
Yeah, I love it. Clean. All right, Kev. What do we got here?
All right, so this one's just a good one to end on. This is
last play of the game. Okay. Oh God, I freaked. Okay, before we get to like technical like guy moment here, as the fan mustache man, I freaked the out when this play happened. Oh my God, dude, because we're down 14-10. It's like, okay, like they'll stop us here, and now the 40-point loss is coming. I lost it. My wife looked at me like I was a psychopath. a double move from Tamorrion Terry, who has bounced back. What a solid game from Terry, and I'm glad he had it. There was a lot of rumors surrounding him after the first couple of performances, and this was good. This one, I knew the defense would never hold up over 4 quarters, but I started to believe that maybe an upset could have happened here. Kevin, then Adam, you guys go and talk about it in a smart way as opposed to a fanboy way.
I mean, I don't know if there's too much you can get into. This is.
There is.
Oh, okay. Adam's gonna show me up, but it's just a slant. You're getting this. You're getting this guy who's actually, it looks like cover 3 to me. So he should have a deep third, but he's biting on a 3rd and short situation. He wants to take away this slant by Terry. He bites up and he just gets beat behind. I'd love to hear what else AB has to add.
Why did he bite up though? Because they ran this play 4 times last week against JSU, and he never went deep. And then he ran it twice already in the beginning of this game, and both times that corner was biting. And I said it not 2 minutes after they ran this play in the slack. I said they're gonna pump that thing and throw it deep, and literally they did. I mean, they've been setting this up. They've been setting this play up. They started with it last week against JSU. No lie, I mean they ran it like 4 or 5 times against JSU, but he was running a stop route. He was running a little slant stop route out there, And and they ran twice already in the first quarter. They literally run it like 2 plays before. It was the dirt ball from Travis that should have been picked. And here you go.
And it's like you said, Mike Norvell, offense builds on top of each other until we eventually have like a functional house. Kevin, what did you think? Obviously, a very solid throw from Jordan Travis. A lot of air distance here. Drops it right in the bucket, right in the old basket for double T. What did you think about Jordan Travis's performance through the air on the night? I'll get that from both of you, but Kevin first.
So I'm going to bring something up that kind of frustrated me the other night. I just hearing fans talk about wanting Chubba in and all this stuff, and I'm sure Chubba's a very talented player, but right now,
you just crush their dreams, Kevin.
Right now, Jordan Travis is the best player on the field for the Florida State Seminoles. So if you want to risk that with some freshmen, go for it. But Jordan Travis is throwing the ball well. He's running the ball well. He's operating this offense. He's not making mistakes. That interception at the end of the game was not his fault. That was a pick play that he's got one read. He's throwing that ball on it was either third or fourth down. And I don't know. I think Jordan Travis had a heck of a game. I think he's a heck of a player. And right now, I think you ride with him.
And I agree before we get to that. And also on that play, his hand had swollen to the size of Mickey Mouse's freaking glove. Like it was just cartoonishly large. The kid is he's tough as a $2 steak, by God. He's a slobber knocker. And I think he's unquestioned QB1. Mm-hmm. Adam, you were talking about Chubbs for Chubba last week. Where you want to say I'm a big dumb idiot and I feel bad about myself?
Not at all, because when push comes to shove and Chubba's ready, Chubba's going to play.
Yeah, I know.
This
I know
year?
He will.
He's yes this year. Yes, this year. He's the future of your program. Like I love what Jordan Travis is doing. And Kevin used the word the other night, moxie. Like Trav's got it. I think you're going to play both of them though. Like
okay.
Look, here's my thing with Jordan and why I say this is he's not going to stay healthy. He's just not. It's not going to happen. They're playing a style of football with him. I mean, how many carries do you have? Like 14 carries or something like that. Like he's taking a beating, and it's gonna add up over time. I mean, they've got to be able to have some other option in there and get some of the weight off of his shoulders.
I agree. But I think it's gone from from that performance. It became from Jordan Travis as merely the bridge quarterback, as that it's expected that he's just a placeholder, to now it's Jordan Travis's job to lose. And it's either going to be taken away from him by superior play from a freshman or injury. But it's got to be taken from him now. To be the Trav, you got to beat the Trav.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Right. Yeah. He didn't get the job because I think he just practices poorly. I would hate to see him lose the job just because he practices poorly. You know, like I want to see it. I want to see it taken away from him, from someone that, like, I think Jordan Travis is one of the best players on the field for you right now, and I want to see it taken away from him by someone who's even better than that. So, you know, if Chubb is bringing us to the next level, gladly hand the ball over. But, you know, we still have 3 more years with Travis. I think he's a competitive guy. He gives us a chance, and I like to see him out there, you know?
I mean, can we agree, though, that if Chubba were to come in and play, it's going to be A, an injury to Jordan, or B, he just outworked.
Yeah, he's just a stud.
Jordan. I mean, from what we know about Mike, like the dude, the standard is the standard. You know what I mean? Like he talks about it all the time. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that he's going to put guys out there that have worked the hardest and are the best players. He's not going to put dudes out there just for the sake of it.
And there's got to be something with Jordan Travis, because it's been through multiple staffs now where something doesn't translate from the games to the practice field. And in my opinion, if Chubba Purdy's clavicle hadn't broken, you might never even see Jordan Travis this year, because Chubba Purdy is starting that Jacksonville State game.
I agree.
So you might not even see Jordan Travis and seeing this kind of stuff that we've got. So interesting stuff to keep track of. We'll be here with you every week. Final thoughts before I wrap this up like a nice Christmas present. Kevin, you go first. Give me your final thoughts on the game. And I mean, how do you feel now? Do you feel more encouraged, less encouraged?
You know, I feel vaguely optimistic, seeing as we're 1-3 and possibly could be 1-4. And I would still kind of have an optimism. I think UNC is not a bad team, but I'll have a whole review of them later in the week. But, I think they played a top 10 defense this Saturday, and they played probably a top 15 offense. And so, I like how they played it. There was a chance that they could have won this game, which is wild, If, we would have had like 4 more lucky things happen for us, but like we weren't.
But that's a part of football.
Notre Dame's a better team than Miami, in my opinion, and we showed up against Notre Dame, and we didn't a few weeks ago against Miami. And so I think that's a positive.
And that's a good point. It's what we talked about through the year. Constant progression. I think we've seen it. I really, really do, Adam. How do you feel going into the battle with North Carolina's favorite octogenarian, Mac Brown?
Yeah, I want to see this team put a whole half together. You know what I mean? Like I thought that the offense was good in the first half, and then the defense was better in the second half, but the offense wasn't as good. I just want to see it. That's what I think is the next step for this team. We're seeing the progress. I was stoked that they went up there and got a moral victory, whatever you want to call it. That they were able to go up there and compete with a top 5 program. And I know they've been coming off of 3 weeks of Corona or whatnot, but like it was exciting to see them go out and kind of fight for the standard that Norvell's talked about this whole time. But the next thing for me is I just want to see them put a half of football together, a full half, offense, defense, special teams, where they go out and show what I believe that they're capable of still. I believe in this team. Like I believe we've got the right guy at head coach and a defensive coordinator and offense coordinator and whatever, but let's get a half together. And I think if they put a half together, they're really going to start to take off.
Well, we'll see. To be continued. If they can put a half together, and God forbid, even an entire game of competent play, we'll be here for that. But I tell you what, guys, we put together one heck of a show, as we always do. It was another just sparkling edition of the Triple Option, presented by Tomahawk Nation, copyright registered, copyright trademark 2020. Listen, if you like it, I'm asking rhetorically. I know you like it. Subscribe to the X's and Knowles YouTube channel of my man Kevin Little. You not only get this fire 100 emojis content of the Triple Option, you get all of Kev's solo video breakdowns. The guy is a maestro, because he just is. He's a genius. I love you, Kevin. You're a nice guy. High five. Listen, do that. Tell your friends that this is the best video-based Florida State analysis content. I mean, honestly,
the best analysis.
It's the best content in general of the entire FSU beat. Sorry.
We ain't talking heart and hustle over here, boys.
No. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Listen, it's just great because I'm surrounded by people much better than myself. I'm surrounded by Kevin. I'm surrounded by Adam. And my name is Trey Rowland. Thank you for joining us for the Triple Option. We will see you next week. Go Noles.
Peace.